Now, I noticed also in that period there was a transition between you two where you were going from instrumental electronic drop scratching, and then you came along with the more pop feel end of it, or how did it happen with, for example, Shake the Joint?
I never thought of it as that. You know,
Well, it was radio
I never
friendly.
never really planned it, but I guess yeah, absolutely. It just caught fire. You know, you know, I was at a stage where I was just throwing out records on a regular basis, and I would just throw them up against the wall. If they stick, great. We chase it down with some promotion. If they fall down, they flop, no problem. Keep moving on, get the next thing going. Because that's the only way you could get paid from a distributor back in the day. You'd have to have a record, a hot record that was selling. And in order to get paid from the withholdings of those units that a distributor would have, you'd have to follow up with another record and say, well, you can't get this record until you pay me for that record.
Yes.
So you have to keep cycling. It's like an assembly line. You have to keep releasing product to get paid on the last record. You got to drop a new record, and you have to, like, you know, the carrot, you know, hold it.
And you
on the
can't
donkey and say,
you can't let on that you don't have the ability to come with another record.
absolutely.
Because then all of that product they've got, they know they if they even smell that you were small, they're not going to pay you.
Right.
What are you going to do? Get
And
on
you-
a plane and go to
part of
Wisconsin?
part of the tactic as a small indie label like we were doing is to have like a record release sheet or announcing the lineup of product that's in the can you know, on the assembly line, getting ready to drop, so that we could maintain a continuous cash flow from the distributors. It's the only way we could stay functioning. We'd have to pretend we have like another 5 records ready to be released, but you got to pay me for the stuff for the thousands of records you just took from me that I have to cover. You know?
Okay. So I back to the radio with the bass music.
Right.
What was your opinion on it? Caught fire or what? Because, you know, who was
Well, it's
helping
funny.
out? Who was helping out with the movement at the same time for it to catch that kind of?
Well, once I got with another promotion person who owned a record label, who had a little bit more juice, if you want to say, it's funny how the same people, the same radio stations that wouldn't give me or even that other promotion person the time of day, now all of a sudden, oh, you know, they're playing it 24/7. And it's funny. I mean, you do want to hear your songs on the radio. You know, you do want to have success, but there's a part, and maybe I'm the only one who feels like this, is like you just hate the hypocrisy of the whole thing. Because, you know, it really doesn't make one difference to them or not, one way or the other with the radio people. Again, this is all back then. You know, we're your local station. We're this, we're that, we're this, we're that. No, you're not. You're only that for a local artist if they come to you the right way. And of course, I do understand part of their defense on that as well. You know, we just can't have everybody come in the door and play every record because every record isn't a hit. No, but you could put a little provisioning in there to let everybody have a chance, as opposed to making it just, you know, you got to go through a promotion person. And then that promotion person, if he's got the seal of approval, then, oh, all of a sudden, we love you. You know, we're playing it. You can't escape it. The song's on the radio every time you turn around. No different. The song isn't any different.
In regards to the Magatron records, for instance, I think from how I see it, most of them blew up because of mixtape. Because of
zero.
Jam Pony Express.
Magatron
You know, we should
proper
credit Jam
was
Pony
zero.
for the blow up of Magatron. To me, that's how I saw it. Now, in regards to like some records that were songs that were released on my label, yeah, I tried to chase radio, and it was at the time when I started to develop relationships with some of the key guys in the mix shows, and we became real close and friendly. Like some you know, Laz, Felix Sama, Phil Jones, Muhammad Moretta. These were guys that were like really huge on local radio. And they were, you know, we became friends. And I would release stuff, and they would automatically play it, no matter what. They would spin it, they would play it, they would blow it up in the clubs, on radio. And so to me, it's like I really wasn't thinking pop. You know, I wasn't trying to get. I just did what I enjoyed doing. You know, with the artists that I was surrounded by. So I was just releasing stuff that this is how we do in the street. This is how we have a good time. We make the beats, we do the scratches, we do the raps, we throw it out there. Oh yeah, let's do some corny stuff. Let's get little melodies from TV shows. It worked.
Yeah, but
It was by default that things started to spin and take off on radio.
well, we're here to talk about the records that made the biggest noise. And I understand that Shake This Joint.
Mhm.
The reason why I keep bringing it up is because, you know, I've had some words with Breezy,
Mhm.
and, you know, I am very, very, you know, I'm very tight with Mr. Salerno,
Mhm.
who we didn't mention
Mhm.
in this recording that he's the one that really promoted your records and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So basically, you know, knowing to the fact that, you know, the question was asked, it caught fire, like one bass record came out, then another bass record, and then suddenly, you know, Power 96 is playing, you know, heavy rotation bass records all day, you know, and Shake This Joint was one of them.
Correct.
And in this documentary, that's going to be one of the records that pop out, whether Breezy's going to be in this documentary or not.
Okay.
Now, the story is that what happened with that record? You know, what happened? He has different opinions and whatnot, and we would like to know what happened. You know, the truth. May the truth unveil. I mean, I talked to Nick also about it, and Nick is like, you know, whatever happened, happened. You know, he doesn't really have anything much to say about it. But, you know, the success, he obviously, Breezy thinks they sold a lot of copies, you know, and he, you know, he didn't, you know, he made money on shows and whatnot. He felt that, you know, Nick was ripping him off at the time as well and all that stuff. So, you know, that's what, you know, I want to know that part of the story.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick was hired as a promoter to work for me in order to break that record. So, in terms of, you know, I know we're jumping from one subject matter to another, but in terms of Breezy being dissatisfied with how his royalties were handled, to that I can say, yeah, we probably manufactured a decent amount of records and sold a whole bunch, but the deal that we had was for him to collect, Breezy got 100% of every performance that he's ever done. And so while he was earning money from performing live, due to the popularity of the record, I was remanufacturing more products. So records that were selling, I was
Reproducing.
exactly. I would get paid, and I really wouldn't pocket anything because I would just go and press up another 1,000 or another 2,000 records
Right.
and get them out on the street.
Right.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's, whether by default or not, that was just kind of the nature of how little independent,
Yeah.
one-man show record labels function. We would
Now-
just press up records, and we weren't worried about, oh, how much money do we, how much pile of cash can we divvy up at the end of the week?
No,
wasn't
it
like-
doesn't work like that.
It doesn't
Yeah.
work.
It
It just
does,
didn't
yeah.
exist. Because we would just, great, the distributor, we would, okay, so the record distributor would say, well, we need 5,000 records because the shit is selling. I wouldn't know what to do because I didn't have the funds
To keep
to develop the product to deliver to the distributor. So I would beg, borrow, and steal to get the money, to press the record, to give to the distributor. Then when the distributor paid me, it's like, okay, great, I have this money, but I got to recuperate what I just borrowed. Plus, I got to press up another 5,000. They keep asking for more records.
Right.
So it's like the money just went in the company, it just keeps cycling.